Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jing Wang. I am the principal consultant from ICP. And thanks so much to the Henry Stewart team for inviting me to share my thoughts on how digital asset management can and should be used at the center of creative operation. So before I start, I should explain a little about ICP's perspective on this very dynamic environment that we see today. ICP started 33 years ago as a supplier globally of a decoupled advertising production service. So that means we took this wonderful creative work from the biggest and the best agencies globally, and we were able to adapt and localize the content for multiple languages, cultures, and channels. I think it's fair to say we save clients lots of money. We are the curators of the quality of the original creative, and we make the process more efficient, and we improve global consistency of messaging. We still do that, but now it's less than half of our work. So over these years, the volume of content has exploded. Our clients now manage massive libraries of content for many marketing channels beyond the traditional TV and the print, and really extended to digital, social media, e-commerce channels, who are now constantly hungry for new content. So in reaction to that, ICP became a trusted partner for many companies to develop their dance strategy and then adoption. Now, in doing this, we get the right return on investment and continue that thing of saving money for our clients, producing better quality outputs, maintaining consistency. And that really all comes together in our new world. And we see huge opportunities to help clients optimize their whole creative operations based on the principles of better demand management and helping clients decide who does what, how, and when. And we look at areas like balancing in-house capabilities with external agency. We are always completely free to work on any technology platforms of our client's choice. So we are technology agnostic when it comes to marketing technology service support and consulting. So we do this globally across all market sectors and geography. We have global headquarters in London, UK, and our North American HQ in Atlanta. And we have regional offices in Mumbai, Shanghai, and Rotterdam. And my role within this new world is the principal consultant looking after EMEA and APAC region. And I have experience working alongside many global business like Unilever, Coca-Cola, Dyson, and I have long engagement with these companies. Now, I would like to share my perspective by starting this session from the content management perspective. So just like the title size says on the slide, creative operation is essentially about orchestrating content supply and demand. That is, when an organization targeting their marketing effort on, for example, customer segmentation, they want to do campaign optimization, need to expand the omni-channel outreach, or whenever they have product launch or relaunch, that really generates the demand for creative content in various formats for different channels. And this just leads to the ever-growing supply of the content. And you can see the circle which just goes on and on. So as a consultant, when I help my clients address the challenges in balancing out the content supply and demand, my question would always go with, how do you manage your content and how do you make the best use of it to meet the ongoing future demand? So in lots of the projects I'm working on, I do a lot of stakeholder interviews and workshops to really understand the challenges that people have in the content management. So on the slide, I have illustrated some common frustrations in content production. People told me they receive ad hoc emails asking for files. And some of the most common requests are resizing, reformatting image, the back and forth approvals, revisions. And I was even told by a creative director that his team spent on average 2 days per week on non-creative work. And more facts are gathered from a survey on the state of the creative operations in 2020. The top three challenges are number one, an increasing marketing demand for more content, which echoes my point in the previous slide. And number two, too much time spent on admin tasks. And number three, technology obstacles to deliver things quickly, and especially during this time pandemic where everyone is working remotely. So as the demands increase and the work gets more complex, I think it's a no-brainer that the technology has a greater role to play. So in the creative operation context, a digital asset management solution really touches the life cycle of your creative content and operation process. A DAM solution empowers your people to easily access assets anytime, anywhere. Improve team collaboration. You can easily find, share, and distribute assets. It accelerates your creative process efficiency. Now, one system can be quickly rolled out to multiple teams and regions. And it increased creative operation scale. Once the master files are available in the system, it can be leveraged and repurposed for multi-channel use. I have some case study and some visual example to show you in the upcoming slides later on. So I think in a nutshell, a fit for purpose DAM solution, and if you manage it well, it really enables your people to work smarter, not just work harder. In the following slides, I have distilled 4 digital asset management best practice that I have seen actually worked in the creative operation environment. And I will incorporate some case study from my experience working with multinationals and global brands who leverage digital asset management to optimize content delivery and gain efficiency. So let's dive in now. So I want to talk about this asset governance as the number one item, because I think quite often I've seen when a company procures a DAM system, it just goes right into the implementation right away. But as a consultant working in the marketing technology environment, I truly believe establishing the asset governance should be the prerequisite and the foundation before launching a DAM platform. So I want to introduce 2 concepts. The first one is the guiding principle. So this is essentially the strategic objective that is true because it is enforced. So think about the things like, should the DAM be the single source of truth for all your creative assets? Should duplicate content be allowed in the system? Or are you actually using the DAM to maximize content reuse and repurpose? So complying with this guiding principle, the second concept is the golden rule. The golden rule is the mandate, and that is enforced because it is true. Think about things like you only allowed high resolution files for reuse and repurpose, tagging assets with usage rights to mitigate legal risk, or make relevant teams accountable in asset maintenance in the system. And I do believe both the guiding principle and the golden rule provide an asset governance framework, as well as creates a DAM practice culture in your creative operation environment, where your people really understand what is important and what should be avoided when using the DAM system. I have seen these principles has been implemented successfully in some larger organization in their DAM practice, not only at the beginning of launching a DAM, but throughout the system adoption and rolling out to geographies with internal and external users. Now let's moving on to the second best practice, defining ownership to gain efficiency. So when it comes to gaining efficiency by leveraging a piece of technology, um, most companies would naturally just looking at implementing and improving the system functionalities to really speed up the work for people. This is very true. I do agree with that. But in my experience, what has been often overlooked is the people element to define the activity ownership when using the DAM. So on the slide, I have listed out in the top 10 most common activities when using the DAM platform, from uploading assets, tagging metadata, communicating assets, reporting, and the end-to-end process management. And I'm sure there are many more. So really depending on the business context and the way of working, there are various ways of owning each activity in the system. I've seen some companies would have a decentralized model and let their marketing people or agency to manage all the activities of their own assets, where others would have a centralized and more focused team doing individual tasks. So here is a case study with a global world-leading FMCG company who implemented a centralized and focused ownership model by letting their brand team owns the core activities, in the box. So these are the tasks that the brand team should be doing in the system: uploading assets, validating the assets against brand guideline and the standards, manage and maintain usage rights, discover and report technology gaps from the key user perspective for system improvement. And this organization, they also leverage dedicated support resource as well as system automation and integration to do the rest. What we have observed from supporting this case study company is this focused ownership model really contributes to very clear and accountable ownership. And by having the branded team owns the core activities, it minimizes team's efforts, which naturally contributes to higher user adoption and advocacy of the system. And having dedicated support resource leads to faster system troubleshooting, better content compliance and quality control, and ultimately speedy content delivery and time to market. And we also analyzed some DAM usage data along with qualitative user feedback in this global organization across different teams, divisions, and we found the process efficiency achieved for the divisions and the teams who apply a more centralized and a focused activity ownership is actually 10 times higher than those who do not. So it was indeed a very interesting observation and learning. But I wanted to highlight that this centralized and focused ownership model is not the only solution out there. I think what works for this organization wouldn't be necessarily working for another company or your company. So there are several variables in establishing a fit for purpose ownership model in your DAM. I just have listed a few on the slide here, including organizational structure and governance, your business way of working, internally with cross-functional teams and externally with agencies and customers. Think about your resource budgeting and funding principle, as well as success measurement and ROI principles. So you should take these variables into consideration when formulating the activity ownership model in your DAM practice and in your creative operation world. But I would like to say, whatever the ownership model you would take, what stays true is when it comes to leveraging technology, the people element has a greater role to play in gaining efficiency. Well, I think so far we have covered the asset governance, which I think is the process element, and the people elements on the slide. Now let's move on to the technology part, automation and integration to accelerate efficiency. Um, I think whether you are planning to launch a DAM system or in the middle of implementation or working towards improving the system, um, here are some common automation features that are fairly mature and well adopted. Users can really leverage the DAM solution to automatically identify duplicate assets, manage version control, do file resizing and reformatting on demand. There will be no more email requests needed. A DAM system can also automatically tag generic metadata on video assets and image assets. And you can also get the DAM system to send approval notification automatically or even seek approval from alternative contact if there's no response from the original approver in certain hours or days. So such workflow can all be configured and automated. Beyond automation within the DAM system, if you want to take your DAM to the next level, you might need to think bigger to integrate the DAM to other creative operation tools in use. So I would like to share some common integrations that I have seen that has been implemented and working successfully. So the DAM integration with the most common upstream tools that you can get relevant data and content automatically ingested into DAM from a creative suite tool like Adobe Suite, artwork management system, and also like system like marketing resource management or a lightweight project management system, a campaign management platform, and even a digital rights management tools. So if you use any of these tools in your creative operations and you want to accelerate work efficiency, it's really becomes feasible to integrate any of them or combined to your DAM platform. DAM integration with the most common downstream tools, via the integration, the content in DAM can be automatically distributed into social publishing, web content management like AEM, media fulfillment, reporting tools, and dynamic component management tools. So I really want to highlight that the upstream integration enables your people to work smarter, and the downstream integration speed up time to market for your content. And I combined the technology would effectively accelerate efficiency for your creative operation and really enhance your return on investment on each platform in use. And I do want to stress that please do not feel daunted by the system integration map. I think this is just the holy grail to accelerate efficiency. And if you haven't done any integration with your DAM or you're still at the very early stage of system integration, that is absolutely fine. I do want to reiterate that defining the asset governance and the activity ownership model should be the first steps to tackle. Okay, let's move on to the final best practice, maximize asset reuse and repurpose beyond channels. I think this is probably my favorite part. Asset reuse and repurpose are the primary business benefits having a DAM solution for creative operation in particular. The reason why I want to put it at the very end is in my experience, I'm working with big and small companies and brands adhering to content reuse and repurpose principle using the DAM have saved lots of money and the production budget for my clients. And this is still very, very true. I think it's all boiled down to the fact that well-managed creative operation and content production all really depend on the assets we are working with. So build your creative assets with production in mind. When a DAM system has the master assets that are fully layered, have high resolution, built in an adaptable way, and it can be used with free rides or within usage restriction, it really brings so many usage possibilities beyond the original and primary channel. And I think in a post-COVID landscape, it is even more important than ever to ensure the correct files are uploaded to the DAN to allow for adaptation and repurposing. Now, I have some case study and some visual example to show you how our production team in ICP have been living and breathing the asset reuse and repurpose world. We work with the British multinational alcoholic beverage company Diageo. And in case you haven't heard of the company name Diageo before, you might know some of their products like Johnny Walker Scotch whiskey. So in this case study, the challenge was the client needed some new image for out-of-home campaign, but the new image shot was not consistent with the brand guideline. So this means the brand team need to reshoot the image or cancel the campaign. So ICP was brought in and was consulted on providing some production suggestion, and we managed to find some suitable and high resolution photography in their DAM system and repurposed it for the new content. I will just bring up some visuals speak for themselves. So our team took a master photography from the DAM system, rotoscoped the glasses and the hands from the original non-consistent image and replaced the product in the existing image background. And then our team repurposed the elements into the new content for digital out of home. Another example, the team took a master creative with the strawberries on it from the DAM system, and we adapted into a new creative for the Wimbledon tennis campaign. So the results, there were no additional costs for reshooting the image, quick delivery to meet the campaign timeline, and the brand compliance on the new content. I think it's a perfect example of doing things cheaper, quicker, and better. There's one more example to show you, and this is one of the typical adaptation work we do for clients very often. You know, taking the existing pack shot and a conventional print ad from the DAM system, and the team introduced some additional elements. You can see the lights on the top, the stars in the background, and the text and the additional bottles at the bottom. And we created a brand new print ad for Christmas season. And again, it's cheaper, quicker, and better. Right, so I think that covered all the 4 digital asset management best practice I want to share with you today. So at the very end of this presentation, I would like to use this tree analogy as the closing slide to recap. So if you think the root at the bottom is your DAM solution empowered by well-established asset governance, well-defined activity ownership model, a fit-for-purpose automations and integrations design, along with great content for reuse and repurpose value. And then in the middle, the trunk is your creative operations, orchestrating content supply and demand. And then the green leaves on the top are the variety of content for multiple use. I think all these elements combined is about leveraging DAN to get creative work into the hands of people and be able to control that process and make it easy and wonderful to deliver content beyond the channels. And that is the goal we're aiming for, and I believe it's very possible to achieve. Well, I think that's all in my presentation today. Again, a very big thank you for joining me, and I hope you find it interesting and useful. And you can visit our website icpnet.com, email me directly, or find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Thank you so much again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.